All right, guys, so here's your rational numbers notes, sort of part 2 here. What we're going to do is we are going to take these fractions, and you'll notice these guys here are just covered up, so I have a little space. So I'll ask that you either grab a sheet of scrap paper. You're also welcome to use one of the mini whiteboards that are on the back table. Just somewhere where you can do some of this work off to the side. So I went ahead and made myself sort of a little scrap paper area right here. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to move 3/5 into a decimal and a percentage. So what I want to do here is I'm really looking at how many groups of 5 are there within the number 3. So I am asking myself, how many groups of 5 are in the number 3? So when I do this long division, how many 5s are in 3? Well, 0. There are 0 5s in 3. So I need to start adding my decimal places so I can create that decimal. So now I can say, how many 5s are in 30? There are 6 5s that are in 30. And 6 times 5 is 30. I can subtract and get 0. And here I am. This is my answer, 0.6. So 3/5 as a decimal is 0.6 or 6/10. And we would call this a terminating decimal. Okay, this decimal ends because here I have a remainder of 0. So this decimal ends. So this is terminating. And if I wanted to turn this into a percent, I can multiply 0.6 times 100%. And that will give me 60%. So let's move on. And let's move on to the next one. So let's take a look here. I'm looking to see how many groups of 8 are in 5. And I know that that will give me a decimal value. So I'm going to see how many groups of 8 are in 5.0, or we'll actually look at that like 50. And I can see 6 here. 8 times 6 is 48. Subtract and I'm left with 2. Add another 0 here since I have a remainder. How many 8s are in 20? 2. Can subtract here because 2 times 8 is 16. I'm left with 4. Bring down another 0, 40. How many 8s are in 40? That gives me 5. 8 times 5 is 40. And because I have a remainder here of 0, this is another terminating decimal. So I can say that 5/8 is 0.625. And if I would like to turn 0.625 into a percent, I can multiply it by 100% and I get 62.5%. Awesome. Let's move forward. And here I would like to know how many groups of, how many groups of 9 are within 7. And so I'll start here, put my decimal up top. I know that there are 7 groups of 9 that are in 70, so 7 times 9 is going to give me 63. I can subtract and I'm left with 7. Bring down another 0. How many groups of 9 are in 70? 7. 7 times 9 is 63. Subtract, that gives me 7. Bring down another 0. I'm hoping that we're sort of able to see what's happening here. I'll bring down my, I'm moving all over the place here. Here we go. And this, I'll bring down my 0 and add another 7 up here. So what's happening, this 7 is just going to keep repeating and repeating and repeating no matter what. So this is a repeating decimal. So 0.777, and we can stick our line over the 7 here. So 0.77 repeating times 100% will give me 77.77 repeating percent. And lastly, let's move this down. Lastly, I can see here that I have 2 9/20. So I can turn 9/20 into an improper fraction. So 2 times 20 gives me 40, and so this really is 49/20. So what I would like to do is see how many groups of 20 are in 49. And I know that there are 2 groups of 20 within 49, and that's going to give me 40. Throw in my decimal. Bring down my 0. How many groups of 20 are in 90? That will give me 4. This brings me to 80. I have 10 left over. How many groups of 20 are in 100? This gives me 5. And 5 times 20 is 100. Subtract and I'm left with 0. So my decimal value for 2 9/20 is 2.45. And if I would like to put 2.45 into, that's not what I want to do, too many decimal points. If I'd like to put 2.45 into a percent, I can multiply it by 100%, and this will give me 245%. So what I would like for you to do now is I'd like you to just take a quick look at these. And the way that you say these decimals, I'll do the first one with you. This is 44 hundredths. So this becomes 44 over 100. And we can simplify that to 11/25. So I'll ask that you go ahead and you fill in these last two. And I can delete this. And then there are a few problems for you to try here. All right, guys, so good luck.